Have you ever tried to make a budget only to give up after a few weeks because it just did not work? Maybe you felt overwhelmed, maybe you felt restricted, or maybe you simply could not stick to it. The truth is that most people fail at budgeting not because they cannot manage money, but because they fall into common mistakes. The good news is that once you know these traps, you can avoid them and finally build a budget that works. In this video, we are going to cover the biggest mistakes beginners make when creating a budget. We will talk about failing to track expenses, setting unrealistic goals, forgetting one-time annual costs, building overly strict budgets, and not adjusting plans as life changes. By the end, you will know how to avoid these pitfalls and design a budget that truly helps you save money, reduce stress, and move toward financial freedom. Let us begin with the first and most common mistake: not tracking expenses effectively. If you do not track your spending, you are budgeting blind. It is like trying to drive to a new city without a map or GPS. You may get there eventually, but it will be messy and stressful. Here is a story. David believed he had a clear idea of his monthly spending. He thought most of his money went to rent, bills, and groceries. But when he finally tracked his expenses for a full month, he was shocked. Nearly $200 had disappeared on coffee, takeout, and online impulse buys. That was money he could have used for savings or debt repayment. Mini summary: if you do not track where your money goes, you cannot control it. The first step is always to measure. The second mistake is setting unrealistic financial goals. Goals are powerful. They give direction and motivation. But if they are unrealistic, they do more harm than good. For example, imagine a beginner who earns $2,000 a month and decides to save $1,000 monthly. On paper, it looks ambitious, but in reality, it is impossible with their current expenses. After 1 or 2 months, they fail, feel frustrated, and quit altogether. Instead, goals must be challenging but achievable. If you can only save $50 a month right now, that is fine. It is progress. Over time, as your situation improves, you can increase the amount. Mini summary: goals should inspire you, not burn you out. Unrealistic targets lead to frustration and abandonment. The third mistake is forgetting to account for one-time annual expenses. Many beginners plan only for monthly costs like rent, groceries, and bills, but they forget about irregular expenses such as insurance renewals, car maintenance, school fees, or holiday spending. When those costs suddenly appear, they blow up the budget. Take Sarah, for example. She made a detailed monthly budget, but forgot about her car registration fee. When the bill arrived, she had no money set aside. She had to use her credit card, which added debt and stress. After that, she learned to include sinking funds in her budget. Each month, she set aside a small amount for annual costs so they did not surprise her. Mini summary: irregular expenses are still real expenses. Planning for them keeps your budget accurate and stress-free. The fourth mistake is creating an overly restrictive budget. This is one of the most dangerous traps because it makes budgeting feel like punishment. Many beginners cut out all fun, no dining out, no entertainment, no small treats, thinking this will help them save faster. But after a few weeks, they burn out. One slip leads to guilt, then overspending, and finally giving up. Think about Michael. He wanted to pay off debt quickly, so he created a strict budget with zero money for fun. For 2 months, it worked, but by the 3rd month, he splurged on a big night out and undid much of his progress. When he adjusted to include a small allowance for fun, he found it easier to stick with the plan long term. Mini summary: a budget should be sustainable. Cutting every joy out of your life leads to failure. Balance is the key. The fifth mistake is failing to adjust your budget regularly. Life changes constantly. Prices rise, incomes fluctuate, and new priorities appear. If you never review your budget, it will stop working. Emma learned this lesson quickly. She created her budget in January and felt confident. But by March, grocery prices had increased by $50 a month, and her budget no longer matched reality. At first, she felt like a failure, but then she realized the solution was simple: adjust. She cut a little from entertainment and added it to groceries. Now her budget was balanced again. Mini summary: budgets are living tools. Adjust them often to keep them effective and realistic. At this point, let me pause for a quick reminder. If you are finding value in this video, do not forget to subscribe to Financial Freedom Path. Subscribing ensures you never miss practical money tips, and it helps this channel grow so we can keep bringing you content that makes budgeting simple and stress-free. Now let us tie these mistakes together with some practical solutions. Mistake number 1, not tracking expenses, is solved by building the habit of recording every purchase. You can use a notebook, spreadsheet, or free app, whatever works best for you. Mistake number 2, setting unrealistic goals, is solved by starting small and building momentum. Saving $50 a month may not sound impressive, but it is much better than quitting because you aim too high. Mistake number 3, forgetting annual expenses, is solved by creating sinking funds. Put aside a little money each month toward those irregular costs so they do not surprise you. Mistake number 4, overly restrictive budgets, is solved by including a small allowance for fun. Balance creates sustainability. Mistake number 5, failing to adjust, is solved by reviewing your budget weekly or monthly and making changes as needed. Mini summary: small, consistent actions prevent big mistakes. Awareness, balance, and flexibility make budgeting work. Let us look at the bigger picture. Each of these mistakes has the same root cause: misunderstanding what a budget really is. A budget is not about control from the outside. It is about guidance from the inside. It is not a punishment. It is a tool for freedom. When you avoid these common mistakes, you unlock the real power of budgeting: less stress, more savings, and more confidence in your financial life. So here is the truth. Budgeting is not about being perfect. It is about avoiding the common traps that hold people back. Track your expenses, set realistic goals, prepare for annual costs, allow room for fun, and adjust regularly. Do this, and your budget will finally work for you instead of against you. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Financial Freedom Path. Your support helps us keep creating simple and practical money advice to guide you toward financial freedom. In our next video, we will break down the 50-30-20 rule and show you how to apply it step by step to your own life. You will not want to miss it. Thank you for watching, and remember, avoiding mistakes is just as important as taking the right steps. Stay aware, stay consistent, and your budget will become the foundation of your financial freedom.